My next Patreon question is from Billy, who wanted to know about a rumored movie studio merger. With the uncertainty surrounding Warner Brothers' Discovery over the past, there are rumors that Comcast could potentially buy the company. Will WB benefit under the ownership of Universal, or could they go down the same route as Fox with Disney? For those wondering where this rumor came from, it originated from a Hollywood Reporter story in September about the future of Warner Brothers Discovery. According to the article, people within the company believe there is a possibility of Warner Brothers being sold to Comcast. Not long after that article was published, NBC Universal chief Jeff Shell said he had no plans to buy WB, saying the rumor was completely baffling and that Universal is more than content with the number of movies and shows they are currently making. WBD head David Zlazov also said Warner Brothers is absolutely not for sale. Now, in this current age of mass media mergers, it's not out of the realm of possibility this could happen, but it's something I hope doesn't. Comcast and Universal Pictures already own a lot of entertainment and don't need Warner Brothers to continue to be successful. On the film side, Universal has done really well, thanks to either owning or having deals with Illumination Entertainment, DreamWorks Animation, Blumhouse, Focus Features, Amblin, and Working Title Films, along with having continuing partnerships with Steven Spielberg, Jordan Peele, Judd Apatow, and M. Night Shyamalan. They even recently signed a deal with Christopher Nolan to make movies for them, starting with Oppenheimer. And on the television side, there's NBC's stable of successful shows. Warner Brothers does have an attractive library, including a lot of classic MGM movies, but Universal's hardly a slouch in that department either. In addition to Universal's own titles, along with a significant portion of Alfred Hitchcock's filmography, they also own 20 years of classic Paramount movies. Warner Brothers, of course, has its share of notable franchises. They have the Looney Tunes, which it often seems like they don't know what to do with most of the time. There's DC, which is about to undergo some major changes under James Gunn and Peter Safran, and then you have Harry Potter, which seems to be stuck due to the underwhelming reaction to the Fantastic Beasts films, although Universal does have the theme park rights to Harry Potter and are maybe happy with just that. Funnily enough, after Warner Brothers gave up on the Lego movies, Universal immediately swooped in and got the license to make Lego films of their own. Outside of a couple of comments from franchise producer Dan Lin, there have been no real news and updates since that happened back in 2020 though. So right now, I believe Jeff Shell when he says they're not interested in buying Warner Brothers. Even though they have their own streaming service Peacock, it never strikes me as something that's a top priority for them, and that it's treated more like an additional revenue stream for the company. Now let's say Warner Brothers does merge with Universal Pictures. What would happen? Well, we would see less films being produced. 20th Century Studios releases a fraction of what it used to prior to when it was owned by Disney. Although that's also an example of the current philosophy of Disney, which is to focus their attention on releasing a handful of films per year. Although curiously, Searchlight Pictures has not slowed down that output, even if some films have gone to Hulu. Of the major studios, Universal does tend to be the most productive when it comes to making films, but I still imagine they would decrease some of the movies released by Warner Brothers annually. For example, I feel like Warner Animation Group would take a hit, as Universal already has Illumination and DreamWorks. Maybe not closed down, as Universal's having a lot of success with animation right now, but they might only end up being tasked to make films related to WB's own intellectual property. Okay, maybe that's not much different from what Warner Animation does nowadays. Honestly, I wish media companies would cool it with the mergers right now. We have seen too many happening in recent years, like 20th Century Fox going to Disney, Amazon buying MGM, and Discovery merging with Warner Brothers. What this often results in are unnecessary layoffs and other decisions that affect people working on both the creative and corporate sides of the company. Are there examples of good media acquisitions? There are. I think Disney buying Marvel was one of the best things to happen to that legendary comic book publisher. And MGM merging with United Artists in the 80s is why MGM even still exists today. However, you also get things like the terrible decisions made by David Zlazov since the WB Discovery merger, which is already having unfortunate repercussions throughout the entertainment industry. So yes, I want Warner Brothers and Universal to stay where they are. Or if Discovery does eventually decide they don't want the studio with the iconic water tower anymore, they should sell it to a company that does not already have a big movie studio. Thank you for your question, Billy.